She had just graduated high school, a bright, talented teenager with her whole life ahead of her. But on a warm summer night in 1997, Jessica Cain disappeared, and for nearly 2 decades, no one knew what happened to her.
What could be a nightmare comes true for some Tiki Island parents.
Their 17-year-old daughter has been missing for more than 24 hours, and police say this is no runaway.
I know something's happened because this is just not her. This is out of the ordinary. Even the neighbors know that this is not like Jessica.
On August 17, 1997, Jessica Cain was like any other 17-year-old girl, enjoying her final days of summer. She had just graduated from Marque High School in Texas, where she had been a member of the theater group and was known for her kind heart and infectious energy. She was preparing to attend Sam Houston State University that fall. That night, Jessica attended a cast party after a theater performance. The gathering took place at a Bennigan's restaurant in Clear Lake, Texas, where she spent the evening laughing, eating, and catching up with friends. It was a carefree night. She showed no signs of distress. Her friends remembered her as upbeat and excited about her future. At around 1:30 a.m., Jessica got into her 1994 GMC pickup truck and left the restaurant to drive home to Tiki Island, a quiet coastal community about 30 minutes away. That drive would be her last known activity. She never made it home. Her truck was discovered the next morning abandoned on the shoulder of Interstate 45 near Tiki Island. The doors were locked. Her purse, wallet, and personal belongings were inside. There were no signs of a struggle, no tire tracks suggesting foul play, no eyewitnesses. It was as if Jessica had vanished into thin air. The discovery of her truck sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community. Her family immediately reported her missing, and a search effort was launched. Helicopters scoured the area. Police combed the highways and nearby woods. Volunteers helped post flyers and information. The media picked up on the story, but despite the intense search efforts, there were no signs of Jessica. In the days and weeks following Jessica's disappearance, authorities pursued every possible lead. They interviewed friends, retraced her steps, and appealed to the public for any information, but nothing concrete surfaced. No witnesses came forward. No surveillance footage showed her after she left the restaurant. Her bank account and phone showed no activity. The case quickly stalled. With no evidence of foul play and no trace of Jessica herself, the investigation reached a standstill. Though her family remained hopeful, the case grew cold. Her parents made numerous emotional pleas for help, appearing on the news, speaking at vigils, and offering rewards. But years passed, and Jessica's name slowly faded from the headlines, though never faded from the hearts of those who loved her. Meanwhile, other disappearances were occurring in the same general region. Young women, just like Jessica, were vanishing under mysterious circumstances. Unbeknownst to the public at the time, a predator was operating in plain sight. The man responsible for Jessica Cain's disappearance would not come into focus until nearly 19 years later. His name was William Lewis Reese. Born in Oklahoma, Reese had a criminal record dating back to the 1980s, including convictions for assault and kidnapping. In 1998, just 1 year after Jessica's disappearance, he was convicted of kidnapping another woman in Texas. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison. But it wasn't until 2015, almost 2 decades later, that his past began to unravel in horrifying detail. Advancement in DNA technology linked Reese to the 1997 abduction and murder of Tiffany Johnston, a 19-year-old woman who disappeared from a car wash in Bethany, Oklahoma. Her body was found in a nearby field. The DNA match reignited interest in cold cases in both states. With the walls closing in and facing possible capital punishment, Reese made a chilling decision. He began to talk. In 2016, William Reese led Texas Rangers and FBI investigators to 3 separate burial sites in rural areas of Texas. One of those graves, located off East Orem Drive in southeast Houston, contains skeletal remains. On March 18, 2016, forensic testing confirmed what many feared. The remains were Jessica Cain's. She had been found nearly 19 years after she disappeared.
Dominique, we're talking about Tim Miller of EquiSearch. He was part of the search for Jessica's remains. He also helped look for her when she first went missing back in 1997. He says her family and loved ones can now begin the grieving process.
Reese told investigators that he had abducted Jessica after she left the restaurant, claiming he had pulled over near the truck and offered help. Instead, he kidnapped her, assaulted her, and ultimately killed her. He buried her in a shallow grave just miles away from the busy interstate. He also confessed to killing Laura Smitner, a 12-year-old girl who vanished while jogging near her home in Friendswood, and Kelly Cox, a college student from Denton, Texas. All 3 young women disappeared in 1997. In total, Reese would be linked to 4 murders: Jessica Cain, Laura Smitner, Kelly Cox, and Tiffany Johnston. The reason Jessica's case remained cold for so long was horrifyingly simple. Her killer had gone unnoticed. Reese had been in and out of prison, evading suspicion while continuing his violent crimes. His crimes spanned 2 states and left behind a trail of trauma and unanswered questions. In 2021, Reese stood trial in Oklahoma for the murder of Tiffany Johnston. The prosecution presented the DNA evidence, Reese's confession, and the haunting details of his crimes. The jury deliberated for only a few hours before returning a unanimous verdict. Reese was found guilty and sentenced to death. He was later extradited to Texas to face justice for the murders of Jessica Cain, Laura Smitner, and Kelly Cox. Rather than stand trial again, Reese entered a plea deal in 2022, pleading guilty to all 3 murders. For the murders in Texas, Reese was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Though no sentence can erase the pain of loss, Jessica Cain's family and the families of the other victims were finally given some measure of closure. After decades of wondering, they finally had answers. And they knew the man responsible would never hurt another girl again. Jessica Cain was more than a headline. She was a daughter, a sister, a student, a friend. She loved theater. She loved life. Her smile lit up every room she entered. And while her life was taken far too soon, her memory continues to live on. After her remains were recovered, Jessica was laid to rest near her family. Her story became a symbol for other families of missing persons, a reminder to never stop searching, never stop hoping. Her family has since supported efforts to improve coordination between law enforcement agencies when dealing with missing person cases and to push for more resources for cold case investigators. Jessica's story also highlights the need for better tracking of repeat offenders. William Reese had been in and out of the system for years. His past crimes, including sexual assault and abductions, were warnings that went unheeded. It's a painful reminder that behind every unsolved case is a real person, a real family, and a ripple effect of heartbreak that can last generations. Jessica Cain was missing for 19 years. Her case remained unsolved, her voice silenced, but justice eventually caught up with the man who took her life. And now her story will never be forgotten. Cold cases may grow quiet, but they are never truly closed. And sometimes, even after decades, the truth finds its way to the surface. If you're finding this case compelling and want to see more true crime and cold case stories like this, be sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching.